10%? 10% seems a little too loud. We'll bring it down to 5%. Let me know if the music's too loud, chat. And let me bump my volume up here, maybe. We'll put that to max. So that should take over that. Welcome back. I know I haven't been live for a bit, for about a week or so. A week ago. But we're back. Honestly, didn't want to go live today either. Did not want to go live this whole month. My hair's a mess. Oh, let me fix my hair. I'm just gonna put a hat on. Hair's a mess. My life's a mess. Don't want to do anything. Just want to sit down, do nothing. Alright, where are we? Market. Market's moving. Sadly to the wrong direction if you're bull. But if you're bearish, like your boy Pratty Daddy always is, then the market's obviously moving in the right direction. Back to the downside we go. QQQ, another red day today. SPY, another red day. IWM, Dow Jones, both of them again down. If you zoom out though, it's not that big of a deal. You know, we're still above or around 600. QQQ actually closed above 600, I believe. Yeah, we closed above 600, even though at one point we got below 600 today. What was the low today? 599.87. So barely below 600. But you can see how, you know, last week, this week, we're really battling around the 600 area. It's not that the 600 has an insane significance. It's just that it's an even dollar price, right? Even dollar price. Ideally, if market stays above 600, then you can continue to be bullish on the market. But if it gives up the 600 area and we start leaking back to the downside, then, you know, obviously some questions need to be asked. Whether are we entering a bear market, which is something, what's his face? What's that idiot's name? Maybe I shouldn't call him an idiot, but what's his name? Jim Cramer. He said market's entering a bear market, and honestly, it might not be too wrong. Usually Jim Cramer is 100% wrong no matter what he says. But this time maybe he has some truth to it. Maybe this time you don't inverse Cramer and you actually join Cramer. But it all depends on really how the market behaves on this green moving average, which is the 50-day moving average. Currently playing around it. Last time we were around the 50-day, we managed to bounce right off of it. Right now we're around the 50-day, possibly a bounce or a slam right back to the downside on the market, right into the 200-day moving averages area, which would be nice. Honestly, a pullback into somewhere in this area, show some support on the S&P 500, on the QQQ, would not be the worst thing in my opinion, because some of these markets have run up so much and ridiculously. For example, the Bitcoin market. Now in thumbnail, you guys saw the thumbnail for today's streams. If you are watching me on YouTube or if you're watching me on Twitter, but if you're watching me on the other platforms, you might not have seen today's thumbnail. What? That's not what I'm trying to open. You might not have seen today's thumbnail, and it is basically Michael Saylor and myself crying that Bitcoin is crashing. Bitcoin going back below that 100K marker, a marker that a lot of people were betting on. I'm using polymarket statistics here. A market that a lot of people were betting on to stay above 100K and not go back to 100K before the end of the year. So clearly a lot of people were wrong. A lot of people lost money on that gamble. And here you go. Look at the leakage. Look at the pullback. MSTR crashing. CRCL crashing. All the Bitcoin assets coming down along with Bitcoin itself. So it's almost seems like it's a little bit of a doomsday bells ringing. But I wanna make sure that we're not going into that state of mind just yet. Be a little alert. Be a little alert for the possible weakness across the board. I mean, here is Bitcoin 200-day moving average, and you can see how Bitcoin is sharply dislocating itself away from the purple line, which is the 200-day moving average. And if you zoom out, It's very rare that Bitcoin does that. If Bitcoin is below the 200-day, it's gonna be there for quite some time. But if Bitcoin is above 200-day, that's when you're having fun. That's naturally for all instruments, right? If market's above 200 moving average, then you are bullish, you're having fun, you're making money. When it's not above the 200, you're not making money. If you're long, that is. If you're short, you're making money, you're loving it, right? But if you're long, you're not making money, you're losing money. And that's what's happening with MSTR. And guys, I've warned you about MSTR. I know there's some people in this Discord or in this chat who are absolute MicroStrategy bulls and Michael Saylor lovers, but I warned you guys about all of this, right? Good things don't happen below the 200-day moving average. And now you're watching MSTR at 180 when you could have closed your position at 350. When you could have closed your position for a tiny loss at 350, you are now deep under the water at 195. Why? Because you were stubborn. You did not want to take profits when profits were being offered, and you completely managed to ignore all of the simple tells on the market, such as the 200-day moving average, such as the 50-day moving average. And now you got the death cross happening, which basically happened on this attempt to reclaim the 200-day. MSTR attempted to reclaim the 200-day over here, clearly failed by the pop and the move right back down. Look at how the candle is yellow in color. For any candle that's yellow in color, that's a significant volume candle, significant intraday range candle. And that happened right after the 2 days, 3 days that it tried to reclaim the 200-day moving average, showing you that sellers were still in play. And then the death cross, the 50-day crossing, the 200-day moving average, just showing you that things are not playing out how you want them to play out. So you gotta be ready to understand all of these key variables. Bitcoin just now creating the death cross, which could mean more downside. I have that thumbnail today where I'm crying along with Michael Saylor, but realistically, I'm not crying. I'm happy. I'm laughing. I'm pointing at you guys who are holding your Bitcoin positions and being stubborn at it. I'm pointing at you and I'm laughing at you, and I want you to feel the pain for that, because I warned you. I want you to feel the pain for this loss because I warned you. I tried to protect you, but no, you wanted to listen to somebody else, and this is what happens, right? So sometimes maybe you have to go through the pain to learn and then grow from it, right? They're called growing pains for a reason. So die Bitcoin, die. Crash Bitcoin, crash. I am absolutely evil when it comes to Bitcoin, because I just hate everything cryptocurrency except for Polymarket. I know Polymarket is on the cryptocurrency chain, so except for Polymarket, I hate everything that cryptocurrency stands for. So I sound like Warren Buffett right now, right? Don't invest in something, guys, at the end of the day. That's basically Warren Buffett's motto that you have no clue about, right? I don't understand half of the things that and scams that go on Bitcoin. I'm just not a fan of all of that. So that's why I'm going to be a perpetual hater of Bitcoin, of cryptocurrency, and just constantly be a negative Nancy when it comes to this. And anytime it goes down, I'm going to be the one to say I told you so. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little rant real quick about how this market's going down. And yeah, I'm not crying like the thumbnail says. So the thumbnail is actually a little misleading. I just wanted to make that thumbnail to look friendly to the crypto holders, but at the end of the day, I want to rip your faces off, because now that we're done doing what I wanted to do for the stream, that doesn't work. I guess I could do Control B. No, Control Shift B. Yeah, never mind. Okay, that doesn't matter. Awesome. Let's talk about the earnings season, because we still have a pretty big important earnings calendar up ahead. Even though a lot of the main names such as Google, Microsoft, Apple all have reported, we still have one big name over here. In fact, let me fix this earnings calendar for us. Let me fix this earnings calendar by pulling in a more accurate earnings calendar for this week. Let me try to find it. Give me a second here. Where's resources, stock resources? There you go. Stock research. And here here is the more accurate, more important earnings calendar for the week ahead, which is, that's all that matters, Nvidia. Nothing else matters. And nothing else matters. Shout out to Metallica. I think that was Metallica. So nothing else matters besides Nvidia realistically, but all jokes aside, there are some big heavy hitting names over here that we're gonna keep a watch on. Something that stands out right away is the Chinese names. You got Baidu, FUTU, Pinduoduo, all reporting tomorrow pre-market. You got a bunch of other names in the retail sector such as Target, Walmart, TJ Maxx coming out. Bullish, another cryptocurrency stock. That's a good name to keep an eye on. Also a recent IPO. A lot of the recent IPOs should be having their lockup expiry coming up soon, such as Circle, Figma, Bullish, and so on. So those will be good names to keep an eye on, especially as crypto is crashing and these stocks are pulling back. If lockup expiry happens, some of the weaker hands, as we call them, paper hands, will be looking to dump their positions on the open market. So that's another reason to look for a short opportunity on these names over here. Then you got some cybersecurity names such as Palo Alto reporting earnings. Is there any other cybersecurity name that I'm missing out somewhere? Maybe next week, like those CrowdStrikes and the net flares and so on. I think NET already reported actually, but Palo Alto, PanW, that's a good one to keep an eye on. BJ's, Lowe's, TJ Maxx, Target. VIX should be an automatic short because this company is useless now that AI is a more prevalent thing and is much more widely adopted. VIX should be an automatic short. Like, this company is most likely going to miss their earnings report EPS and come back crashing down. So I'll probably even buy some poly market puts on WIX if there is one. There is. So yeah, Wix reporting apparently pre-market on Wednesday. What do we have over here? Pre-market on Wednesday it is. So we'll for sure, oh come on, separate those tabs. I don't want to have them two tabs together. So for sure watching VIX. 83% beat. Yeah, no effing way is it gonna beat that. So I'm gonna buy some shorts right now for VIX. Hey man, load up. What is lagging me? Hello? I think it's because I'm streaming, so it's taking up my computer resources. I need a new graphics card, real bad. Did I not even get filled on my size? What? Oh, there you go. I only got filled on 10 shares. The extra 15 shares have not been filled. So I'm just going to cross up and take the extra 15 shares here instead of having to worry about them giving me the fill, because I don't want to sit here on the book. I'm just gonna cross up and take the extra 15 shares at $20, and I have 10 shares at 20 cents, and I have 10 shares at 19 cents, and we'll see how it plays out going into Wednesday. And that is a nice little poly market position that I'm putting myself into. I don't think VIX is going to beat their earnings report because of all of the new AI tools that are coming out to create websites. It's 10 times more easier to create a website now, such as Lovable. Lovable is such a great website to create web interfaces that Wix is just completely useless these days. So watching how this one reports this week, and obviously a lot of other names out there. I'm surprised they don't have Nvidia on here, but they have other. Oh, there you go, Nvidia after hours. Sorry, I got confused. I thought Nvidia was reporting Thursday, but Nvidia is reporting Wednesday, and they're coming in with a 93% probability that Nvidia is actually going to beat their earnings report, which is pretty weird if you ask me, because recently you had SoftBank dumping 100% of their Nvidia shares, and you had what is it? And you had Peter Thiel dumping 100% of his Nvidia shares and dumping 76% of Tesla shares. So these big hedge funds, big money holders, Peter Thiel, SoftBanks, and so on, they're clearly dumping their positions. But here we have a more sophisticated trader system. The smartest people in the world, known as polymarket traders, they're coming in and pricing in Nvidia at a 93% probability to beat earnings. So if Nvidia misses earnings, this is going to be a monster opportunity to keep an eye on. So yeah, lots of opportunities out there in the earnings board, not just on the direct stock market, but also on the derivative markets such as polymarket, and then options, CFDs, and all that nonsense. Currently I have a lot of people contacting me and messaging me about trading Tesla on garbage crypto markets. Like, dude, I don't care. You can see how my answer is no thanks, and honestly, these are my answers to a lot of people who are messaging me about these things. Look, I trade stocks on the stock market. I don't want to trade stocks on your bullshit crypto market derivative platform where you're trying to scam people. No thank you. So if you're DMing me about this garbage, keep your DMs to yourself. Don't even bother, because my answer is no. I'm not going to entertain you. I don't have patience for you, and I want you to get off my DMs. Leave my DMs alone. So any of you crypto monkeys out there who are trying to get me to trade stocks on your crypto platforms, a big middle finger to you, okay? So don't DM me, because you're not going to like the answers I'm going to give you. I'm going to be nice the first time. The second time, I'm not going to be nice. Let's continue about the earnings board over here. Some names that reported today after hours. None of them really excite me for a day trade. The ones that I'm going to be more interested are going to be the ones reporting tomorrow pre-market, especially the Chinese names, FUTU, BIDU. So let's just go to those instead of the ones that reported today after hours. I know TripAdvisor reported, but who gives a fuck about TripAdvisor? Come on. TRIP, let's just go see if it moved at all. It looks like the stock didn't even move. It's a $14 stock doing 3 million shares. Like, nobody cares about TripAdvisor anymore. The more important names, 100% guarantee, are going to be the ones that are reporting tomorrow pre-market. Home Depot, Baidu, Amer, FUTU, Klarna, which is, I believe, another buy now pay later platform, much like Affirm. So Klarna is a good one to keep an eye on, Pinduoduo, and so on. So let's start with Baidu. Baidu recently, along with the rest of the Chinese sector, has caught a lot of the traction to the upside, but recently you had some negative news about Baba, about military, about Chinese intel, and so on, and the US government. Basically, Trump. Trump is going to say some wild statements out there to try and stir the pot so he can make deals, right? This is all just negotiation tactics. So because of that, BABA actually crashed a little bit, pulling back below its most recent anchored VWAP that I was tracking it from. I forget what news this was. Usually I put in the news catalyst along with the anchored VWAP, but I've gotten a little lazy recently. Need to get back on my horse, mainly because I haven't been actually trading myself. I've been waiting for my account to set up for the last few months. It's been really painful to get my account set up with my broker, and thankfully it's almost done. So almost done, all steps are check marked, and my account is funded. I am ready to go live, and we're just waiting on one more thing, and then I'll be ready to start trading full systems go again. So it's been a little bit of a pain, a little bit of a headache. That's why I took last week off from streaming. I was like, if I'm not even trading, what the fuck is the point of me going live and just pretend to be trading? It's just such a big headache, and no, I have nothing to even talk about, and that's part of the reason why I didn't want to go live today, because I thought I was gonna start trading from today, but my system wasn't ready to go live today. So I was like, oh my god, I don't want to go live, I don't want to stream, I don't want to talk about stocks until I actually start trading. So hopefully from tomorrow, or we'll see. I think I should be ready for tomorrow. If so, then will have a lot better mood, a lot better attitude when we're going live. Anyways, Baba recently caught some traction, pulled right back after the whole Trump nonsense. Along with it, Baidu, FUTU, all of them pulled back too. So we'll see if the earnings report that comes out tomorrow in pre-market for these names are going to help them out, or if the whole China scare again is going to continue be a theme to keep on watching. So waiting to see how the earnings reports comes out. Also keep in mind, stocks that report earnings pre-market usually have conference calls in pre-market or during market hours. So you want to make sure that the stock that you're trading does not have a conference call during market hours, and if it does, at least you should know about it. That way you're not caught off guard. For example, Home Depot reports in the pre-market, but if their conference call is during 10 o'clock market hours, then you need to know that. It is your duty to know when the conference calls are happening. That way you could either stay clear of the trading at that time, or you could lock in. You could open up the conference call and focus a lot more into that trade, into the system, because sometimes conference calls, depending on what they say, could move the market even more into the direction that the earnings was taking it, or could move it against the direction that the earnings was taking it, because they said something opposite or something, let's say Home Depot was going up, but the conference call was mostly bearish, mostly hawkish, then clearly investors are going to look to dump their position, and you're going to get caught off guard because you were mainly long because of the earnings report, not because of the earnings call. So got to make sure that you know exactly when the calls are happening. If this says 9 a.m., make sure that you know what the average conference call time span is for Home Depot. I think you could go here and check how long a transcript was. For example, this one went up to 1 hour 3 minutes, which is actually makes sense. Usually they're around an hour long. So if this is at 9 a.m., what does an hour from 9 a.m. sound like? 10 a.m. What is 10 a.m. in EST? That's 30 minutes into market hours. So you could easily get caught offside and get your trade absolutely destroyed if you're not paying attention to these little minor details out there in the market. It has happened to me before, and that's why I'm warning you. Amer Sports, not long ago, AS was at all-time highs, soaring to the north side, but now sadly a little bit of a pullback. This is the same company that creates they own Wilson, they own Arc'teryx. I believe they own Arc'teryx, which is a winter clothing brand, but they own Wilson, I know that for sure. I can't remember if they own Arc'teryx or not. I mean, I might even be saying that wrong. Anyways, I previously wanted to look into buying some shares of Amer Sports in this area. They were pretty high, expensive PE ratio back then in those prices. Let's say if the PE came down, most likely it has to have come down because the stock price came lower. So now the PE is 74. You're basically paying 74 times the earnings ratio if you were to buy the stock at the current price. We'll see if the earnings report tomorrow that comes out in pre-market takes the stock back into these ranges again. You see how ever since it gapped up on that earnings report, it just never had any real momentum to a second leg up higher. But now that we pulled back, I'm guessing this is also somewhere around the key moving averages. Yeah, right around the 50, right around the 200-day moving average. The stock is maybe going to give you the death cross. It looks like it's going to give you the death cross soon enough if the report comes out negative tomorrow. But if the report doesn't come out negative, then potentially no death cross at all, and just a curl back up on the 50-day moving average. Currently, the 200-day moving average is flattening out. Not a good sign, but it could easily curl back up if the stock starts to move back higher based on the earnings report tomorrow. So AS is a good one to keep an eye out for on the earnings reports. I previously traded it. I like that name. Klarna, Klar. Yes, Klar. Uh, a lot of these stocks that IPO'd not too long ago have gotten destroyed. Figma was one of them. FIG was one of them, absolutely smoked to the downside. You know how many people were out there on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, talking about how they wanted to load up on Figma long off the IPO? Well, I hope you got out for profit on this run up, because this is what happens if you are an idiot, right? If you're not managing your position properly, if you're just doing stupid stuff, following the hype just because a couple IPOs before Figma blasted off, doesn't mean Figma has to blast off, right? And now all of them are pulling back to the downside. IPOs are honestly the worst things that you could buy historically. What is an IPO? An IPO is not for you to make money. It's for the insiders who've been in the company for much longer than you. It's an exit vehicle for them. You are the exit vehicle. You are the exit liquidity. You buying these shares is helping them exit out of their position. That's what an IPO is at the end of the day. Yes, you could end up in the long run getting something like a Google, a Meta, or a Facebook or whatever, but that takes time. That doesn't happen right off the IPO. So the natural event over here is what we're seeing, and it makes me happy watching people lose money about being an idiot, because that's what the market is. The dumber you are, the easier it is to take money from you. So don't be stupid. Make sure that you're reading patterns, make sure that you're studying charts, and simply playing what's being offered to you, right? There's times to go long, there's times to go short, there's times to stay away and sit on cash. Cash is a position. Wasn't Warren Buffett like sitting on billions and billions of dollars of cash, not deploying it not too long ago, not deploying it while everyone else was deploying it, and people were looking at Warren like, what the heck, what's going on with Warren? And now look at him, now he looks like a genius, right? So it's just know what to do, when to do is a very important thing. Very, very important thing in the stock market. Sometimes doing nothing is a amazing thing. Sometimes doing absolutely nothing, sitting on cash, could be the best thing you could do, which is what I'm doing right now. I liquidated all of my positions. I don't have any positions in my account anymore, and I'm watching the market basically struggle and pull back. There will be a time where I will decide to deploy my money again, but now is not the time. Now is simply not the time for me to deploy my money. I would much rather love for a deeper pullback on the QQQ and the S&P 500, and then we can talk about it. In regards to the pullback on the market, wasn't the unemployment numbers are not going to be announced apparently. That's the negative thing. If you look at the current FOMC predictions, they're coming in with where's these charts? What the fuck? Why is it loading? Hold up, chat. Let me load it up on this page here. I guess it crashed because it's not loading at all, and it says 0% and 0% over here. Oh wait, there you go. These are the numbers we're looking for. I'm not sure why the chart's not loading though. Well, something crashed somewhere. Not sure what's happening, but all we care about is this right here. Previously on stream, the probability for a 25% rate cut was at 62 to 70%. Now we're seeing a rate cut probability at 42% and a 57% probability that we're not getting a rate cut. Things are looking bearish, guys. Things are looking bearish. Things are looking hawkish. Not looking good if you are, bullish. So you have to look at all of these variables. There's a lot of signs right now in the market that things are not the way they need to be. Semiconductors are struggling. Okay, SMH, semiconductors are struggling. Pull back to 50-day moving average. XLF, now at the 200-day moving average. If the banks are not acting right, nothing will act right, in my opinion. Okay, banks need to look strong, stay strong. That will give faith to technology. Then you'll start seeing tech going back up. Semiconductors were leading the party for such a long time now, and now semiconductors are pulling back to the 50-day moving average. Here you have AMD kind of holding up at the moment, but most of them are, question mark zone. We are in a very, very big question mark zone in the market. Someone keeps telling me to buy Robinhood, but no. Why would I buy Robinhood when it's looking like this? I'm not going to buy Robinhood when it's looking like this. If it pulls back to the 200-day moving average, then maybe that makes me a little bit more interested. But right now, I'm just not interested in buying anything. There's nothing on discount. There's seriously nothing on discount at the moment. And things can get even more discounted. Okay? Things can get way more discounted. Look at Mara. Look at Hut 8. Ion Q. RGTI. RR. I can go on for days. UMAC. Like all the drone sector. Every sector out there that was in power, that was getting juiced up, is not getting juiced anymore. They're getting annihilated. DoorDash up 1.7% today though. Shout out to DoorDash. The only sector, honestly, that's powerful right now is the data storage. Look at WDC, look at STX, look at SNDK, still in the uptrend. You would have thought that SNDK on this day was creating the backside, but no. Here you have SNDK now pushing right back to the north, pushing right back to the highs. So, there's the sectors that were in play are not in play right now. So you have to be patient, see what sectors are actually moving. There's a couple people that I follow on Twitter for that type of information. Connor Bates is a good follow. Ted Zanger is another good follow. Good friends of mine. Ted Zanger is a good buddy of mine. I hope, even though we haven't met in person yet, we talk quite a bit about AI and technology and sometimes stocks. And they post amazing stuff on Twitter, so make sure you're following the right people. Your boy Trader Prad, even though I've been mostly tweeting about Polymarket, and you guys understand now why, because I haven't been able to trade live markets. My money has been tied up with my brokerage, and I haven't been able to trade with that brokerage because some things were messing up in the system. So now finally that those things are almost done with, I'll be able to trade the markets again. And in the meantime, I was very, very glued to Polymarket. So it's almost like I had a good 2-month vacation off the stock market and a 2-month education about the Polymarket. And then eventually, historically, anytime I've had to take time off of the stock market, I come back and I slam the stock market. I get stronger, I get better. So I'm just looking forward to see if it plays out like that again, and we make some good money in the near future, because hey, markets are doing amazing things every single day. Tons of opportunities out there. I think Tesla was a good green day today, but even though Tesla was green, you had a monster short on Tesla right up here. Nvidia had a little bit of a red day today. So many opportunities every single day, guys. You just gotta hone in, focus, and get ready to slam. Look at that, 184, 183 had a line drawn there. And looks like Nvidia bounced right off of that today. I don't even know where that line comes from. Oh, right there. And Nvidia basically bounced right off of that line today. Surprise? I don't know. Coinkadink? I don't know. But it's wonderful to see those things happen sometimes. It's magical, as I call it. Magic. That's all it is at the end of the day, right? That's all it is. I think I can basically end the stream there today because there is really not much to talk about. There's basically, the Chinese names that I quickly showed you guys. Make sure that you're putting attention on those in the pre-market. Besides that, if you're trading anything else, I'm gonna call you an idiot. As simple as that. If you're trading any other name that's not in the earnings board or does not have a significant catalyst to be moving around, you're an idiot and you deserve to lose. But if you end up coming out profitable, then I'll say congratulations, but you still deserve to lose because that's not the way to day trade, okay? I know there's a million ways to skin a cat, but if you want to be in this game for a long time and actually make the money that you envision to make, then make sure that you're listening to the people over at SMB Capital, which is what I parrot. I parrot everything SMB Capital tells me, right? So make sure you're listening to the guys over at SMB Capital. Don't listen to Trader TV Live. That's one way to lose money for sure. Unless if you're listening to Neil, then yeah, you'll make money. Just don't listen to any of the other guys on Trader TV Live. SMB Capital, yeah, those are the guys you wanna listen to. And trying to see if there's anything I can remember about the poly market side. There's nothing really on the poly market side that's standing out to me at the moment. No new markets, and honestly, you can see I'm in the red on poly market now because I've been treating poly market as a sports book instead of the main reason why I got into poly market. So I've been basically donating. I turned a very green account into a very red account on poly market here, which is my own fault, but I know why. I know what happened. I know how to fix it. I know what not to do, and if I just stick to that. Is this Webtoon? WB? What is that? Weebio. I know what not to do, and if I just not do those things, I'll be right back onto the green horse, and the red horse will be shot behind the barn. Hopefully that's how it plays out. All that means is don't sports gamble, Pride. Just stay away from sports gambling. It's never been profitable for you, even though you had a little bit of a good stint on it on poly market. Just stay away from it. Stick to what you know and trade what you are good at, like like technology stuff, stock market stuff. Politics I'm not so good at, so I need to kind of stay away from the politics side. My opinions on politics are also so wild that don't match with the reality, so I need to calm down on the politics side. But look, I had November 30th long. Where is it? History. I had November 30th long at 81 cents, but I had to take a loss on this. Had I just held on to my position, I would have been profitable on this, and then I would have won on this too. So I had this at 55 cents, bought no at 55 cents, sold it at 96 cents, and it ended up resolving no. So like, knowing technology is my niche, I need to stick to technology and stop venturing out there with markets and sectors that I have no clue about. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight of how to trade poly market for yourself, how to trade the stock market for yourself. Stay in your lane. If you want to go outside of your lane, cut the size, right? If you're trading in your lane with 100 shares, go to 1 share when you're going outside of your lane, or maybe 10 shares when you're going outside of your lane, right? So make sure it's all relative. That way, when you're learning, you're not paying a lot of tuition to learn the lessons that you have to learn. And then when you're actually making money, you're making good amounts of money by scaling with your niches, scaling with your lessons, scaling with your ability to get better in whatever market it is that you're participating in. All right, guys, nice little short stream today. No mention market for us. No real extracurricular activities to talk about. I mean, there's a mention market here from Trump about the McDonald's summit, which is happening at 6 p.m. apparently in an hour. Maybe I go prepare for that a little bit. I go check out what this is and I try to trade that live. Only $22,000 has been traded on that one. The next mention market that is really interesting will be the Nvidia conference call. So we'll for sure be trading that live. That's on the November 19th, so Wednesday after hours. make sure you tune in. We're going to be trading the Nvidia conference call live, and potentially even trading the Nvidia earnings report live through Polymarket, because sadly my broker does not allow me to trade after 4 o'clock. But you know, we have other markets to take advantage of that. All right, chat, that's basically all she wrote. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a more detailed, in-depth, all kinds of fun stream. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in terms of creating a new YouTube channel or not, because this channel is for sure shadow banned. As far as I know, my current Twitter account and this YouTube channel is for sure shadow banned to some degree, because you know, having 7,000 followers and I only get like 100 views, 200 views per post, which is crazy. And it's not like I paid for my followers, right? I paid $0 for 0 followers, but just getting no outreach out there on this Twitter account, on this YouTube channel. So I feel like it's time to do one last run, one last push on a new account, on a new channel, and see how that one grows. If that one doesn't grow, then the end of the day, the story is I suck and I can't do what I'm trying to do here, so I might just have to quit. Gotta accept what the truth is. So we'll see how that one works. I'm trying to scratch my head around how I want to create a new channel, what it's going to be named, how I'm going to market it, and so on, and all other little minute details. So stay tuned for that. Potentially starting new year, it's going to be a whole new channel, whole new page, and all the other jazz. On that note, I will keep you guys posted. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. Where's the fade to black?